the SLR F1 races for Callum 3 and 4. It's night 2 this evening for SLR. It's I guess memorial races for our fallen brother, our beloved member SLR McEwen, who tragically passed away last week. We've got a couple of races tonight. Hopefully we'll have some great action, some brilliant battling, and we'll give Callum a good old SLR send-off, as it were. Give him a couple of races that he'd have wished he was racing in. And it's great to see, obviously, as it was last night. It's not just SLR members you can see there on the right hand side of the screen loading in. It's a whole host of drivers from all over the Xbox community, the F1 community. They've all come together so fantastically to honour Callum and his legacy. So yeah, we'll obviously it's going to be a bit of a tough one, I think, up in the booth. Obviously, myself and James have obviously while we've not necessarily got to know Callum terribly well as a person, as a racer, as a driver, I think we know him pretty well, racing both with him and commentating over the races the last three or four seasons it is now. Getting on, it will be our fourth season up in the booth on the start of the new game. So yeah, we know Callum very well in that regard. Brilliant racer he was, and obviously, hopefully Morgan will load in a second. We'll be able to get it all sorted. I think James is AFK at the moment, so we're trying to sort that out. Where is he? I can't see that message, by the way, James. I don't know if for whatever reason. Okay. Just get James back in, and then we should be able to get going. Right then, so we've got a short qualifying session, which will be followed by a 25% race. We're here at Azerbaijan, as we were last night. Azerbaijan and Brazil, yet again, two of Callum's favourite tracks. Obviously, went pretty well round here in the races that he did in Division 1 and in the F2 as well. I've got a few messages from members that I'm going to be reading out throughout the evening, throughout the stream. And I mean, if anyone else wants to say anything, feel free to drop it in the chat. Obviously, please, if you can, donate to the Just Giving page. Trying to raise some money to help Callum's family. I think we're at or nearly at £7,000, which is just an incredible figure. Really shows just how much the community as a whole has come together. That's an immense amount of money, really. And yeah, it's truly amazing what you can achieve together as a collective. So we've got the guys here in this race running the gold and white liveries we've got going on tonight. We've got a few guys already out on track. Connor, got some returning members as well in Division and Monkey, for example, and then members from the wider community, which is always good to see. Matt Silver as well, I believe, will be technically making his SLR debut, which is always nice. Swapping the booth for the track this evening is Matt. So that'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Right then, we'll go to Connor. I don't know if you're here yet, James, if you're in the lobby.
No, I've been here the whole time, mate. Yeah, I've just got in the lobby after I got kicked out.
I guess you want to take us through this lap with Connor then, just to give everyone an idea of the Baku track if they don't already know it, and then we'll get on with some other stuff.
Right, yeah, of course, Connor would have been racing Callum for, was racing Callum for majority of the first half of the season in Division 1 before he had to drop out due to I think it was a few health issues for Connor, but yeah, going through the first sector now. Going to be braking just before the 100-meter board, or just about on the 100-meter board. He's obviously a bit more confident than I was on the brakes the other day. Trying out the no line wasn't the quickest, but that wasn't important. But yeah, it's a 34. Oh no, it's a 35 flat, so it's just ticked over that first sector from Connor, which is a fairly competitive sector 1 time. Now a short run, braking just before the 50-meter board again, entering the castle section. Just all about patience here and respecting the barriers, because if you push your luck, you're in the wall. But Connor does it nicely through the castle, and now up the hill, sweeping series of left-hand corners, fast flowing flat out, and now braking for the bunny hop. Takes a lot of that curb, goes in a little too hot though, and has quite a big lock up on both fronts. Now coming through the final proper corner on the track and getting the power down nice and early onto the back straight for the final few flat out corners. One more to go, and then down the long, over a mile long into straight. DRS open for Connor, going to be getting up to about 210 miles per hour before he brakes again down into turn 1. But it's the first time of the day then. It's a 39.3, and it's quickly beaten by just under a tenth by Division on his return. As Connor almost, oh no, he has binned it. Good thing damage isn't on. And there we go, Midzi as well, 37.8, and that's a big step up from the times we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's good to see Midzi back racing with SLR. Good first run from him. Nicky as well on the 38.1, which is not bad. 2 members returning, as it were, to SLR, at least for the time being with this race. As you see Connor there with the number 43 on his car. I believe Callum liked to run the number 43, changed to 95, I think it was, at the end of his tenure in SLR. So that's, I think everyone's trying to run those kind of numbers if possible, which is great to see. Yeah, I mean, it's just been great. The sort of collectiveness, or you know, I'm kind of struggling to find the words to describe it, just how good it is that the communities come together to show solidarity and support. Obviously, you know, people that didn't even know Callum have, you know, shown their support and offered their support to SLR and the members of the community, which is, you know, it's great to see. Obviously, away from what can be sometimes a bit of a toxic environment, it seems, or at least that's the sort of reputation for whatever reason it seems to have gathered in parts of the F1 community. You know, it shows that in tough times people can come together, and it is great to see. Which, you know, it's kind of supported by the fact that we've got so many drivers from all over the Xbox community coming in to race with us this team. So we've got a few more guys setting in lap times now. Tommy Merckx, 3rd and 4th on 38.3s, both of them. Matt Silver is on 38.5, so that's a good start for Matt in his first lap, it is, in SLR, which is great to see. We've got Bean on the mediums at the moment, going again. Of course, one of the league owners here in SLR. See how he's getting on. Of course, Bean will be I imagine, one of the people that's known Callum for the longest. As he pulls off into the pits, just to end his lap, he's getting all out of shape there. BTX is on a lap. So let's see how BTX does on the mediums as well. The FRA Esports owner.
I've never seen him race before, you know.
He's come along to show his support, and he's also pulled off into the pits. I've seen BTX race, I think, once. I know he likes Italy. I'm not sure how much of a fan of Baku he is. But,
well, fairly similar tracks, I guess, with the long straights. Well, in some ways, yeah. They're quite similar.
So 8 minutes in then to this qualifying session, currently topped by Midzi on a 37.8. I believe it was a 36 from Thunder we saw yesterday, which was an
36.9.
absolutely tremendous lap, wasn't it? Yeah, tremendous
Yeah, it
lap
was.
from
It was a
Thunder
great lap.
yesterday. So it would be nice to see if we can get some guys in and around that. It's also good to see, like I say, people coming from all around. But you know, you've got Monkey and Division, for example, two drivers that have raced with Callum in SLR before. They've come back for this race, which is nice. You know, people sometimes maybe haven't left on the best of terms. But you know, at times like these, it's you know, you put them behind you, and you show your support, and it's tremendous to see from everyone here.
Alright, we've got some early action in the chat. Just quite a few guys tuning in and saying hello. But we've got STB, a league obviously me and you have both raced in for a while. Just sending their love. We've got just £65 away from the target now, Owen says, and Steve obviously putting the link in. So yeah, as Harry said a couple of times already now, we're not forcing you to donate. We're not even asking you to donate. Really, it's just more of a, if you can and you'd like to, then yeah, please just yeah, give a little bit, and yeah, it'll really help out Callum's family. I think the amount we've raised already is already way over what we expected. I think the original goal that the guys set was, I think it was about £2,000, and we beat that in about, I think it was less than a day even. And yeah, the fact that the page has been up less than a week and we're almost at £7,000 is just, it's crazy. I mean, it's a heck of a lot of money, isn't it? In such a short space of time as well. But the fact that so many people as well, I think it's way over 200 people have donated. It's just kind of amazing to see the support, not only for Callum but just for the community in general. I think for us in SLR especially, if it had been someone else from another league or another part of the community that had sadly passed away, I think for sure we would have been supporting them like one of our own. So yeah, I mean, it's great to see everyone from all around sending their love and supporting. But yeah, just under 8 minutes to go now in the quali session, Harry. It's still Midzi leading the way on that 37.8.
Yeah, there's a couple of tenths up as well. James, he's going again. He's going to get a bit of a tow as well here down the straight as he opens up the DRS now. I'm not entirely sure who that is just ahead of him. It might be Merckx actually. Just looking at the car colour, but Midzi then across the line.
It's Connor.
37.5, so that's a brilliant lap there from Midzi. Mid 137. So yeah, we're starting to see the times come down a little bit, which is good. Still most of the field in around the 38s and 39s, although we have got a few or more of the Division 2 and 3 drivers by the looks of things than we did the other night. Hence the lap times maybe just a tiny bit slower. Not a lot, but a little bit. Holden's on a run then. He's also going to be getting a bit of a tow off of his fellow Division 3 driver Hypers, and he crosses the line there. It's a 2.5 gain for Colden. P15, he goes on a 40.001, so that's about as close to a 39 as you can get. That being on one. Charlie then as well is going for a lap.
Merckx
I mean, yeah, like I was like you mentioned, really, James. Just sort of how much everyone's come together and shown their support for us, and you felt, you know, SLR would do the same. I mean, I can absolutely 100% say that SLR would do the same. You know, every the end of every season, for as long as we've been there at least, there's been a charity race done, organised generally by the league owners, and you know, we've all come together as a small community in ourselves to support that and raise funds. Obviously we did one for Great Ormond Street Hospital last year. I think we raised over £2,000 doing that, just in amongst ourselves, which was, I mean, a brilliant effort. You know, I think we donated some games consoles to Great Ormond Street. Obviously this is a much, I'd say much more personal cause, a closer cause to our hearts as a league, as a collective.
Mm.
But then obviously to see that wider support as well, that, you know, like you say, we didn't necessarily expect, but it's something that you know that we'd reciprocate if it was done in a if it was another league that had been affected by something as tragic as this. So yeah, I mean, it is just brilliant that we've raised such a figure. I mean, £7,000. You know, it's nothing compared to a life. You know, a life is priceless, and I'm sure it really, you know, has very little sort of relief and so on to Callum's family. But the fact that we can come together and, you know, at least kind of try and ease that burden and just help in any way that we can, obviously through a financial cause it is, but the fact that we can do that, I mean, it's just such a massive thing, and it's really sort of hats off to everyone, you know, everyone that's organised this, everyone that's donated, thank you so much. You know, everyone that's raced here tonight, everyone that's tuning in, even just to watch on the stream and show you support that way. Like you say, you don't have to donate, we're not asking you to donate, but just, you know, come along, show you support, give some words if you can. I mean, I'm going to be honest, it's a bit of a struggle, to be honest, because, you know, it is such a tragic thing, as I say. And I mean, whilst not exactly knowing Callum personally, but knowing him through racing, it's still affecting a lot of us so massively. And I mean, just to have commentated over races the last sort of 2 years that he's taken part in, it's just it's been a real pleasure, hasn't it, James? I mean, he's such a good, fair racer on and off the track, you know. People can get annoyed at one another and so on in the chats, but at the end of the day, no one ever holds it against anyone, you know. He was always sort of the first person really to jump in and kind of calm things down if anything was ever kind of kicking off after a race. Always so respectful, both on and off the track, you know, throughout the community. Yeah, it's really difficult to find the words, to be honest, because, you know, it's you know, I don't think any amount of words can truly sort of describe and reflect what a loss this is to us as a whole. We have got Tommy then just about to start his run. 2 minutes 40 it is to go in the session.
We've
see how Tommy can do.
We've got a few more messages in the chat here. We've got one from one of the legends of the league racing scene, Beer and Kebab. He says he's just checking in and wishing us all at SLR an amazing night of racing, and he says it's a fitting treat for Callum, and yeah, it certainly is. The amount of people we've had, I think close to 80 people joining in for these races over this weekend, and yeah, he's sending his love. And I think should we get a couple messages in before the end of quali?
Yeah. Let's read Ranga's out then. So we've got Rich, or Ranga as most of us know him, one of the league owners here at SLR. I'd say arguably one of the closest people to Callum. You know, they've raced with each other for such a long time. Really, I think together, as much as anything, helped this league to grow. You know, Callum has had such an influential role, you have to say, on the growth of SLR as a league, as a community, and you know, into the wider aspects of racing. So you know, just some words from Ranga. Obviously, you know, I think like I said, I don't think any amount of words really can sort of truly reflect how we're feeling, but you know, he's given his word. So he said, Callum was an imperative part of not only SLR but my day-to-day life. I had the pleasure of becoming close to him, particularly through the lockdowns, and had hours and hours of endless fun and games with him. He was a pleasure to work with within SLR, and he embodied everything in which SLR prides itself on. He was a truly special guy. He would always be the first to check up on people. When I was going through a tough stage myself a few months back, he was always there for me and the first person to check in with me. I trusted his advice like he was my brother. I knew he always had my back. He was a big hole not only in my life but several others within SLR who also got to know him on a very personal level. He meant the world to us. He was our brother. We will continue to race on for him forever. Every pole, podium win is all for him from now on. Rest easy, mate. I can't believe you're gone, but we will do everything we can to maintain your legacy. You will never ever be forgotten. All my love, Rich. And I mean, I think that is, you know, some way of getting to just truly how sickening it was to hear that news. This time last week it was really for us.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such a big shock to all of us. You know, only 24 years old he was. I mean, it's just awful, really, to think about. You know, you feel so truly awful for his family. So yeah, I mean, I think the bit about the lockdowns, you know, I think that's something to touch upon, something to highlight, perhaps, in the sense that, you know, I feel like as a league, SLR really took a step up, like in the lockdowns. You know, the community grew. I think friendships grew, as Rich has said there in his message. I think people got a lot closer to one another. You know, more time playing the game, more time online, on the Discord and so on.
Yeah.
And it did really help. I think, you know, there's a real sort of family bond, I'd say, in the league, in the community. And yeah, it definitely strengthened relationships, I'd say. And obviously, with Callum and others in the league, I think that's been such a good thing in itself. You know, the lockdown has had such an effect on people, 3 of them as it has been now here in the UK. You know, mentally, it has been a tough time for a lot of people. So, you know, to have that sort of friendship and support that Callum's clearly given to a lot of people, you know, it's truly great to hear. And truly great to see. So that is the end of qualifying. Apologies for not really touching on the qualifying session that much, but obviously, you know, that's not exactly the main part of this evening. But it is going to be Mitzi then on pole position with Tommy Reel alongside him. Merckx is third with Monkey fourth. Nicky is fifth. Matt Silver is P6. So we had 4, 5, 6 drivers into the 37s in the end. So that's a good showing there. Izzy Wizzy Woo is 7th with 7 8th. Division 9th, and SLR Allen rounds out the top 10. BTX is the first to go on the alternate strategy, most likely, in P11, with Connor 12th. Charlie is 13th, with Barlow in 14th. Hyper's 15th. Kieran, Bean, Morgan, Colden, and MVCK round out the field.
Yeah, I was just going to say quickly, I mean, obviously, like Ranga said in his message, talking about the like different games and stuff during lockdown. I remember must have been about this time last year. We went on and played Ark, wasn't it, with quite a few of the guys, and I remember Callum being there a few times, and yeah, I just seem to remember what sort of it was a real bond that grew between quite a few, certainly around that time. And I remember everyone sort of talking about, is Callum online, or like, what's Callum doing, and talking about
Dozzy's just put in the chat, get me on Ark.
Callum was one of those guys, wasn't he, along with the likes of Ranga and Beast, Owen, Darnell, all sort of joining together and becoming really close. But yeah, I mean, obviously we were never, I wouldn't say we were ever that close to Callum, but I think over the last year or so, the amount of races that we commentated on, and speaking to him after the streams and stuff like that, he'd always thank us for doing the stream. And yeah, whenever he was on the podium, it was always great to talk to Callum, because he always had something to say. Whether he'd had a good race or a bad race, he was always sort of willing to talk to us, which was nice. Should we get another message in before the race starts? I got one from Dorsey earlier in the day.
I think, James, we should probably commence with our minute silence. I'd imagine
Yes,
they're doing that on the grid now.
of course.
So apologies that we're going to be a bit delayed to this. But yeah, just before we begin the race, there'll obviously be the formation lap anyway. So we'll commence in a minute's silence. Just give it time to reflect, whether it's on your own sort of personal experiences, personal life, or whether it's in a wider field. So yeah, we'll have the minute silence now, and then we'll get into the race. All right then. So hopefully we should be getting going in a few moments. I guess we can use this time then, James, if you do perhaps want to read that message out from Dorsey before we get into the race. And we'll try and get the action nailed down, I think, for the race. We'll read out messages in between and in the quali sessions, I think, but we'll try and focus on the races a bit more, as I'm sure that's what Callum would have wanted, to get all the action in, see all the action, and hopefully we'll have a really enjoyable couple of races as we're just loading in now. So yeah, I'll hand it over to James to read out Dorsey's message for Callum.
Yep. So Dorsey just sent me this earlier. He said, "Callum, you will always be remembered as an absolute legend. The short couple of years I knew you were long enough for me to class you as a brother, and I'll remember you forever. Thank you for being there for me when I was at my worst. Thank you for being such a good mate. I love you and I miss you. Fly high, brother." And yeah, I think just really summing up a bit like Rango as well, the impact that Callum had on so many people. I think the amount of messages that we've been sent from different people within SLR, I think it just shows the impact that he had. And some lovely words there from Dorsey.
Yeah, most definitely. So then, we'll have a quick look at all the cars whilst we're on this formation lap to see the gold and white liveries that we've got. Most of them are going to be pretty different as they can be, whilst being the same colour, that is. Everyone's doing their bit to show their respects. We had black liveries on, and then I believe there was SLR themed liveries. And we've got these liveries, the white and gold, and then we've got the official F1 2020 cars for the final round. And I think it really will be an honour for those in that final race that are going to be driving in the cars that they were able to share with Callum as teammates. Obviously he was in the Haas last season, in the Ferrari as well, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah,
Ferrari.
He's been in so many cars. I guess as well, the F2 division have retired his car, the Charouz car that he drove in, and Beast has been given the opportunity to continue to race within that team alongside McEwen in that car, for the rest of the time that Beast is racing with us in F2. So that's fantastic to see. Obviously we'll be running with 19 next season, Not that that is really an issue or a problem by any means. And I think it's just a great, it's a great sign of respect, a great way to, kind of remember it as, also remember McEwen's presence and the impact that he's had upon this league. So just going through the liveries, just to get an idea of what everyone's gone for with the black and white, gold and white, sorry, colour scheme. And we're going to have the first lap of the race as a lap of honour. And then Midzi will lead us away for a safety car restart. So we are going to get the 5 red lights. They will go out, but there'll be no jostling for position into turn 1. Although Midzi's jumped the start. So I don't know what effect on proceedings that's going to have. And he's already been overtaken, I think, by Tommy. Who,
I think he's just got the memo, maybe.
Possibly, maybe yeah, didn't quite get the memo straight away. Well, I think he now has. I'd assume Midzi will just have to peel off into the pits and serve his drive-through. So that's a shame. The pole sitter then unfortunately isn't going to perhaps be as influential figure on this race as he would have liked. Midzi will, however, get to lead us away for the safety car restart. So then, James, with Midzi out of the picture, most likely. Obviously, we've seen Tommy, how he gets on around here. He's no slouch, is he? So, do you think it's Tommy's to lose in this position, or do you think Merckx is going to have something to say before the end?
No, I think Merckx will definitely give him a run for his money. Monkey and Nicky as well were pretty close in quali. I was pretty impressed with Matt Silver as well, actually. I think I remember when he first joined us, commentator Freeman said he was pretty quick, but yeah, from P6, get him in elite for next season, I say. But actually, no, maybe I shouldn't say that. We've about 30 drivers to choose from. Yeah, well, I'm about 30 drivers to choose from. But no, I mean, I'm not really too fussed about who wins it, to be honest. I'm not sure if these guys will be too fussed about who wins it. I think they'll just be wanting to put on a good show, which yeah,
exactly. And
hopefully they can.
Hopefully we'll get that. Yeah. Right then. So I'd imagine Midzi's going to take the restart. He'll probably wait a lap to serve his drive-through, but it is going to be a safety car style restart from Midzi whenever he wishes to go.
Which
and he's gone now, and he's left Tommy in the dust a little bit, as Tommy's going to go side by side with Merckx down into turn 1. It's Tommy on the outside, Merckx on the inside, and he's got the move done then. So Merckx straight away, we said that he'd have something to do with this race, and he's already up, and we've got a bit of battling going on behind here with Morgan and that's BTX, sorry, as I think the timing screens are kind of messed up a little bit, but we're going, we are racing, and we've just hit £7,000. So that's a brilliant way to start this race, as Spridey's just said in the chat. So that's fantastic. So that's a brilliant start to the race. Is that? So then it's technically Merckx then in the net P1 from Tommy. Monkey is right up behind Tommy, right on his gearbox, looking to try and get away through, but it's so tight through here. We've really got to wait till the back straight, or the main straight as it is, the back straight that becomes the front straight, for a way past. We've got Charlie, I think, in the wall at the back. I wonder what happened to PTX on the restart, because he was up in P11.
I think there's just been ghosting, lag issues. I saw quite a few guys kind of like in the walls on the straights, but I think that's probably just a bit of lag between them.
We've got a spinner. Is he out of the final braking zone? The final proper corner, as it were. losing the car and into the wall. Right on the back of Monkey was Izzy before that spin, so that's a real shame for them. I think we've got a couple cars already into the pits, Sem and Division. Of course, there was a little bit of an issue with traffic last night, so maybe they're trying to get out of the way of that quite quickly. Midzi setting the fastest lap. He's obviously got some really good pace. Unfortunately, not going to count for a hell of a lot when he is yet to serve his drive-through penalty. Matt Silver on the back of Nicky, and it's quite close out front. We've got Kieran and Morgan, by the looks of things, battling it out with Bean as well for P11. Down the inside goes Kieran. Morgan trying to hold it around the outside into turn 3, and he's got the inside now for 4. Little bit of tyre on tyre action there, but Morgan's just about muscled his way through, and here comes Izzy back on the charge down the inside of Kieran. Kieran's going for the move on Morgan at the same time, and 3 into 1 was never going to work out, and unfortunately that is the second spin for Izzy in half a dozen corners after a really promising qualifying.
Yeah, I think probably just trying to make up for that mistake. Bit of a lunge to the inside, and yeah, unfortunately, as you say, 3 into 1 just doesn't really go. But Izzy might be an interesting one to watch, trying to get their way through the field.
Merckx has had a big mistake, James, out the bunny hop, and now Tommy is right in the slipstream as we head down the straight through the left and the right. It's like a slalom through there, flat out, full throttle, 190 plus miles an hour. Pulls out pretty early from the slipstream, does Tommy's. He's got the run, he's got the DRS open now. Merckx hasn't, but look at the straight line speed from Monkey as he comes on through down the inside, and Monkey is going to take the race lead here down into turn 1. It's Daniel Ricciardo-esque from Monkey, and he's pulled Tommy and Merckx's trousers down there. I don't think they saw that one coming. Tommy's trying to hold it down the inside of Merckx at turn 2.
Here's Nicky as
but
well.
Look at that from Monkey. He's absolutely flying. And now Nicky and Matt Silver as well in the background are going for it. Merckx covering the inside into 3. Matt Silver's going for the move. Just about slows the car down before hitting the back of Merckx. That was almost disaster for the pair of them, but they've just about gotten through there unscathed. But what a move that was from Monkey. Immense straight line speed there, and the double overtake. I'm sure Callum would be loving this.
Wow, what a move from Monkey. He must be running like 1-1 wings or something crazy like that. He was just absolutely miles quicker than them down the straight, and yeah, getting up the inside. Oh, there's a huge crash at the castle. Oh, Nicky gets flipped and is somehow straight away back facing the right way. But yeah, I was going to say, before all of this craziness started happening, I was going to say, don't count Midzi out of a good result still here, because he looked to be pulling quite a big gap to the rest of the guys behind. He's only 10 seconds off the lead now, having served his drive-through. And if he can get past Hypers here, he's got a little bit of clean air before the Barlow and Connor, and then he's going to be right on the back of that top group again. So yeah, Midzi, do not count him out of maybe even the win still yet.
Yeah, BTX is back in 11th, so I wonder if that was a bit of lag. But we had Kieran, Bean and Morgan all going back at it yet again through the first and then middle sector just then. Midzi is right on the back of Hypers already, despite serving that drive through. Tommy and Nicky both into the pits, but Midzi then with the slipstream and the DRS using a little bit of his battery just to get that overspeed on Hypers, and it's a pretty easy move there from Midzi up to P6 it is. So it's going to be a bit of a recovery drive from Midzi. I wonder how far up the field he can get. Barlow's having a good race as well, up into P5 it is, with just over a second away from the back of Connor. So Barlow having a pretty solid drive at the moment. Let's see how Tommy and Nicky get on going for that undercut, as Monkey still leads from Merckx and Matt Silver. And to be honest, those top 5, James, really didn't seem to be separated too much on the pace there.
No, it's great to see. It's really close between all of them, and I think, yeah, Monkey just kind of came out of nowhere really, didn't he, on the straight? And yeah, he was a little off the pace in qualifying compared to the likes of Midzi and Merckx, but always he whacks the castle as I say that. But no, his race pace is looking
Matt's
fantastic.
trying it down the inside of Merckx. Oh,
they're all getting it wrong.
Matt saw the door and Ayrton Senna-esque went for the gap.
I'll tell you what, Harry, Midzi was about 10.1 seconds behind last lap. He's gained a second and a half through all this squabbling. He at this rate, he'll be on the lead only a few laps, and Yeah, I think we'll be seeing the top three probably into the pits this lap because yeah, they do not want to stay out too long on those soft tyres with the high degradation. But yeah, that mistake from Matt, you've got to say, just a pretty hopeful lunge at the inside, and that's allowed Merckx and Monkey to stretch their legs a bit. No DRS, no ERS, I should say, for Monkey at all. He was running with nothing left in his battery, but Merckx decides to stay out and go for that overcut. He has the battery advantage. He had the DRS down the main straight, which could be pretty powerful here.
Yeah, Midzi comes into the pits as well, James. He was just coming up to some traffic, so got out of the way of that, pulled up into the pits to serve his stop. Yeah, I had a bit of a grimace when Matt went for that lunge down inside, but they got away with it. We've got BTX back on to the back of Morgan. Kieran and Bean still going at it, James.
Yeah, I think this traffic's really hampering Tommy as well, who's sort of ended up behind this fight between Kieran and Bean. He's now going for a move up into P9, and he's going to try to hang it around the outside, and he makes it stick. But yeah, Monkey came out the pits just as this battle was going on, so he's made an overcut work on Tommy. He's been able to hold position despite staying out a couple laps longer than the Czech driver. So yeah, fair play to Monkey. He's looking on the back of Sem now, as well as BTX is pushing Morgan through the castle section. He gets a 3 second
Sem's made a mistake. Monkey had a little look. This is a big train all in the midfield, and we saw it yesterday as well, first-hand experience from the pair of us, that getting caught in the mid-pack can be really costly. Someone's gone at the castle.
It's Bean.
I think is it Bean has gone at the castle. So Merckx going long, obviously trying to jump the traffic on the overcut, as Sem and Monkey both getting all out of shape through the bunny hop. Then BTX on the back of Morgan. Are we going to see some moves now down the straight? Is anyone going to have the Monkey straight line speed down here? Let's see. BTX
Tommy on Monkey,
has very limited battery, as does Morgan. Going for the move. Barlow is going past Connor as well, as Merckx is in the pits. BTX then is going to have the outside line into turn 1. And he's got it done before the braking zone, but brakes slightly late. Is Morgan going to try and hold it in? He thinks about it, but can't. BTX and round the outside. That was a very good move from him. Merckx has pitted and he's going to come out just ahead of Matt Silver yet again, and in P9. So going for that overcut, not really proving to work for Merckx on this occasion.
I'll tell you what, Harry, it's non-stop action. We've got Nicky on division now, down into turn 3. I think he's going to make the move. Yeah, he's done it before the braking zone.
And Matt Silver and Matt Silver and Merckx, sorry, coming together at 3. I think Matt going for another bit of a lunge on Merckx, and there was contact, big contact between the pair of them. Merckx kind of getting slammed into the wall there. So Matt's obviously a bit aggressive with his moves. He's perhaps taken some notes from watching Elite and thinks that he can go for a bit of a dive on some of these guys perhaps and get the move done. Not quite working for him on this occasion, unfortunately. Obviously with damage being off as well, it perhaps does promote some slightly more aggressive manoeuvres, but I'm sure Merckx will still be a bit disappointed with that. Nevertheless, someone else has gone at the castle, James.
Gone.
Division it was, by the looks of things, as we try and find some action. We've got MVCK on the back of Division after that mistake out of the castle. Is he going to go for it down into the bunny hop? Surely not. Yes, he is, down the inside on Division. What a move. Can he slow it down? Just about into 15. Division might have another go though. Not quite, but what a move that was. Sem, non-stop action here, as you say, James. Sem on Morgan then. Down the straight, pretty easy. That was Connor as well, getting past Hypers. And Monkey as well. Is he going to have a look at Sem down into turn 1? No, he's not. Sem started, did he start just outside the top 10? And, or did he pit? No, Sem, sorry, pit very early, sorry, at the start of the race. And it's actually paying dividends for him at the moment, because he is in the net race. We've got more yellow flags all over the shop. I think Alan might have just gone at turn 2 there. Midsy's now back into the top 10. It's a net P7, I believe. But he's only 4 seconds off the back of this pack. So don't count Midsy out just yet. They're catching up to BTX now through this middle sector, who's still out on those medium compound tyres. Barlow and Hypers have been going at it out front for the last few laps. They're both in a pretty decent position at the moment. They'll probably be pitting this lap, you'd imagine, for the soft compound tyres. Slightly surprised they haven't done it earlier, as Hypers so close to getting it jammed there at the castle. Scrapes the wall, just about keeps it facing the right direction. Ghosting is on, thankfully. Had it not been, that could have been a bit of an issue, and I'm sure we would have had some issues already in this race if ghosting not been on.
Yeah, I think we certainly would. But wow, what a race this has been. 8 laps out of the 13. I mean, it's only a short race, but we've not had a chance to catch our breath, I don't think, so far. Middy now getting a penalty, that could be crucial to
he's pushing so hard though, James.
Yeah.
Matt Silver as well, just picking one up.
I think Barlow, yeah, he's got that blue icon. I think he's coming into the pits then for a fresh set of softs, as we've got another off at the castle. Kieran is round.
Yeah, more yellow flags. Constant yellow flags, it seems. BCX pits then. Sem is going to take the race lead, but he's got Monkey right behind him, and Tommy and Merckx are going after him. And Monkey smacks the wall at turn 1. That's going to lose him some time, and that's going to put Tommy right into the DRS range now. So Tommy is getting himself back in there, but getting all out of shape out of turn 2 on the traction. Merckx as well, still breathing down his neck despite that run-in with Matt Silver earlier on. Matt is trying his hardest, I think, to keep in touch with these guys, just over a second away as it stands. Barlow's come out in 11th, so himself and Connor have been split slightly. Connor, I think, pitted the lap earlier, and he's put a car in between himself and Barlow. That is Division currently running in the points up in P10. It is for the Dutch driver. Barlow can't find an avenue through this middle sector. It is a very interesting track, Baku, in the sense that it's so good for overtaking, but basically in only one spot, or 2 spots really, with the main straight and then down into turn 3. Everywhere else it's pretty much single file, unless someone in front of you makes a mistake or you have very big balls. So then Monkey on the back of Sem now, trying to save some of his ERS to go for a move, but at the same time he's got Tommy right behind him, so he can't afford to relax too much, can Monkey. And look at the straight on speed he's got compared to Sem. Monkey just blitzed past him down the straight. He might have given Sem though the DRS because he went early, and Sem's got the DRS back on Monkey. I wonder if that was tactical there from Sem. So down the inside, or round the outside, sorry, Sem goes into turn 1. There's contact between the pair of them. Tommy hits the back of Sem as well, and look at these three going at it into turn 2. Monkey trying to defend from Tommy through 2. Sem has the lead then, but Monkey is going to lose not 1 but 2, but 3 positions in as many seconds, it would seem, as Merckx then going for it, and now he might have a run at Tommy into turn 3. Tommy trying to defend, but Merckx says, I'm having this place, and he gets down the inside into 3, and he forces Tommy out wide, and now Tommy and Monkey going at it. Matt Silver's losing it on the traction behind, and that's going to land Nicky into 5th, and Tommy holds on to 3rd just about, does he? Yes, he does. Wow, this is absolutely non-stop. Is Monkey going to have a look in here? No, surely
Sem's gone in deep.
Not quite, not quite.
Sem's now under pressure from Merckx. Merckx 47, the Sunday driver. He's doing it again. He's looking for the win now.
Monkey's all over the walls at the castle. He's going to go side by side with Nicky on the exit. Is Nicky going to get the traction? Not on this occasion. Monkey getting a very good exit. Matt Silver now only 2 tenths behind these guys, despite that mistake. And Midzy 1.5 behind James. I know he's got that time penalty, but don't count him out, at least on track anyway.
I think Merckx is going to be looking for a move here on Sem, down into turn 1. He calls himself a Sunday driver, and he's shown that again here. He's fought his way through after being down about P5, P6 net after the pit stops, and he could be in the race lead with only 3 laps to go here.
Yeah, I'm absolutely certain Callum would be and is loving this. Then Merckx to the inside, back onto the racing line before the braking zone. That's how easy it was. But Sem probably doing the clever thing, managing his battery. They're both on around 30%. So neither of them using the absolute limits of their battery as Monkey has. And Monkey's paid the price for that, James, because he's dropped out of DRS. Tommy just watching this one. I think probably waiting for a moment to go for it as Nicky now passed Monkey. So Nicky showing some really good pace. And look at this, James. Midzy, it's like Jaws. Play the Jaws music. He's closing in. Just kind of silently in the background. whilst these lot have been squabbling it out, Midsy's been pulling that gap down by the second, and he's now right on the back of this train in P7. And look at how much he's pushing, flirting with the track limits as we go into the castle. Trying to force one of these guys into a mistake, but for the most part they've been pretty decent so far. This is really the main entertainment, the main battle for the lead. There's other battles going on, but no one really quite as close as these guys at the front are at this moment in time. Monkey's just about within a second of Nicky. Nicky's nearly within a second of Tommy, but not quite.
Sem's coming back at Merckx here, Harry.
Kind of where we've seen the limits of this battle has been the guys with the least amount of DRS kind of splitting the train up. So Sem then to the outside, Merckx covering off the inside very early there. Into turn one they go. Merckx out braking Sem, who tries to hold it around the outside, but Merckx has the line into the corner and has the position still. But it is getting so tight at the front. Tommy's got an engine glitch, but he's going for it. Down into turn 3 in the slipstream, but Sem has DRS as well. I don't think he's going to be close enough. No, he is not. We've got more yellow flags all over the track still. It's been non-stop with the yellow flags since about lap 2 when we got the racing underway. Mitzi can't find a way past at the moment, and I think this is really going to be where he falls short in this race. Obviously the drive-through, I think he would have absolutely blitzed this one. The time penalty as well is going to cost him in the end, but I'm sure winning on track or getting a good position on track is going to be equally as desirable for Midzy. I know it was for myself last night. 5th on track I was, but I ended up in 7th, but I was happy with the 5th nevertheless. Division is a second off of Hypers, and Hypers I think might have hit the wall through the castle there as his car's ghosted. Division is squirming all over the shop on the exit. Hypers is on softs, Division on the medium, so you imagine that it's Hypers has just gotten past Division. But it doesn't look, it wouldn't look like it, you wouldn't think that. Going on board with the Dutch driver, he's all over the back of Hypers. There we go, here's where Hypers should start to pull away a bit on exits as Division is really sort of sliding around through the corners. Can Midzy get the move done this time though? He's got nothing in the battery, neither has Matt Silver. But Matt's got the DRS and got the slipstream off of Monkey. Is he going to try it around the outside? Into turn 1, not on this occasion, just too far back. But Monkey as well, all these guys, bare bones with the DRS, the ERS, sorry. They've got the DRS, at least most of them. And Tommy's obviously made some sort of mistake, James, because he's now got Nicky breathing down his neck, having a look into turn 3.
Oh, he smashed into the wall. I think that's helped him get his car around the corner, and he's now kind of inside Monkey a bit after that run into the wall. He's going to go and try and get through.
He's going to go through him. Matt's taking that opportunity, I think, to dive into Monkey, as it were. They're still going at it, these guys, and Midzy's trying to join in on the act as well and get an opportunistic overtake if possible. More yellow flags on the back straight as someone's, well, there's a few drivers here I think having an absolutely torrid time with the car.
I think Merckx has this one all wrapped up, to be honest.
Oh, it's the last lap.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even know. There we go. Time flies when you're having fun, clearly, and what a cracker of a race this has been. Connor, I think, is going to get a couple of places here on penalties. All this squabbling has really cost these guys with penalties. Here we go then.
As well.
Merckx is going to cross the line and win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Nicky's going to get himself up onto the podium right at the end, James, as he blitzes past Tommy down the straight. So it's Merckx from Sem, from Nicky. Tommy is 4th. Monkey 5th. Is going to be Connor in 6th with Matt Silver at 7th. Midzy 8th. Alan is going to come home just about in P9 as Barlow couldn't quite get the move done up to the line. He was 10th. Division is 11th. It's then Hypers, BTX, and Izzy's going to be 14th. Just as Morgan nearly got the move done at the end there. Charlie should be 16th, and then Bean, Kieran, Colden, and MVCK, who were seemingly the drivers that were bringing out the bulk of the yellow flags are going to round out the order. But what a tremendous race that was. Battles throughout, especially in that top 8. Non-stop action it was to the flag. I think I need to catch my breath before we get into the next one.
Oh yeah, what a race, as you say, action-packed from start to finish. I mean, I think at points you might have thought we were playing Wreckfest, but no, this was F1 2020, and yeah, despite the argy-bargy, it was a fantastic battle, especially at the front. I mean, Monkey was leading it for quite a while. At one point, ended it down in 5th. Tommy obviously had the lead momentarily early on, and he ended up in 4th. And then yeah, Midzi obviously almost. I mean, yeah, you've got to say without that drive-through, he would have blitzed it, wouldn't he? But yeah, I mean those top 8 drivers put on a fantastic show, and yeah, the rest of the guys throughout the grid as well, providing some brilliant racing. That yeah, as you said, Harry, I'm sure Callum would have been more than proud of within SLR.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of those moves were just fantastic there. Some of them not so much, but opportunistic and ambitious to say the least. Matt Silver was certainly giving us some entertainment, wasn't he, with those dive bombs that he was providing, which is fantastic to see. I'm here for it all day, every day, 24/7. Connor gets driving of the day from the game at least. He did have a good drive, did Connor? Mert's just saying that this is all for Callum, so I hope he's enjoying it. As I said, I'm sure he is, because that was absolutely thrilling. I have been invited to the new lobby. I'll just watch this podium celebration as Merckx lifts the trophy. Well deserved in the end it was from Merckx. We said that he'd give Tommy a run for his money. We didn't necessarily expect Monkey to be right up there, but Monkey was giving everyone a run for their money. Fell short at the end, but he provided us with some fantastic entertainment, as did the whole field. So it's Merckx then who takes the victory. Sem coming home P2 with that early pit stop, paying off very nicely for him. Nicky was 3rd in the end. That was the podium. Connor with the fastest lap and P6 from 12th driver of the day. So that was a good effort from him. That is the result there. Thank you to everyone that raced there. Kept us on our toes, most certainly. And we'll get into the lobby for the next one. Right then, just loading into the lobby for the next race. As my phone is deciding to turn off, which isn't great because I've got messages to read out here, phone. Right then. Let's see what's going on. Okay, we got more messages. I need to try and read them all out. So we'll get a couple in now, because otherwise I'm going to forget, and that's not me being, you know, facetious or whatever. I'm not trying to forget, but you know, when everything's kicking off in the race, you can't expect me. Right then, so we got one from Liam. First off, I'd say Liam definitely one of the closest in the lead to Callum. Obviously both Division 1 admins, they've raced with each other for such a long time. Played all sorts of games with one another, as you kind of alluded to earlier, James, with Ark in lockdown and so on. So here's Liam's words. He said, where do I start in the amazing time knowing Callum? It was clear and obvious to me what an incredible guy he was. Got to know him properly throughout lockdown 1, playing Ark, golf with friends, but most recently Wreckfest. My thoughts go out to his loved ones. You opened yourself up to all of us and showed your great character, always making sure we knew when we were doing well, or giving us a natural hint to make us do better. When getting to know you, I learnt one of your favourite things to do was watch Cars with your 3 amazing children. A song I will remember you by will be Life is a Highway, and the title honours you greatly, always giving us the reassurance to take better roads to higher and better outcomes. Miss you loads already, fly high my brother, rest in peace. Yeah, some really moving words there from Liam. Yeah, I mean it's it's just really sad reading these. I mean it's I'm trying to keep with it. I wouldn't say I'm an emotional person, but some of this is getting me in the feels, and I hope it's getting everyone in the feels, to be honest, because it's just not something any of us were expecting, any of us were prepared for, and the fact that we're coming together like this is just truly incredible. I'll get one more message in. I've got a couple more. I don't know if you've got any more, James. I've got a couple from Matt and Joe Darnell, but I'll read Owen's out just before we get into this quali session. So Owen said, Callum was a real gentleman. I can certainly back that one up myself. He said that he's so happy to have gotten close to as close to him as he did. There we go. In season 4, I was still struggling to get results in F1. And it was Callum who spent a whole 3 hours on Wednesday night practicing with me to get myself up to speed. He was an instrumental part of my rise to Division 1 in Season 5 and to my runner-up finish in Season 6 to fellow group member Dorsey. I'll forever cherish the times I had with Callum, whether it was just the two of us at 2 AM or when we were all playing other games in a group, whether it was Arc or Wreckfest. And then he said that he will endeavour to help Chloe and the kids whenever I can if they are in need, which is, I think, a really powerful and incredible gesture from Owen, and he's rounded it out. He said, "Thank you for everything you've done for me," and finally, Big Kim, don't lie. I'd be lying myself if I said I knew what that meant, but it's obviously some sort of inside joke or message that I'm sure Callum will be looking down on us and smiling when he's heard that. So then, we've got one more race to go. We've got Brazil, a whole pretty much 20 drivers, new grid of 20 drivers, apart from the one Matt Silver, who's come back at his home track, James, to pull out some mega dive bombs yet again. I can't wait, it has to be said, because if that race at Baku is anything to go by, we know that Matt will be going hell for leather in this race here too. So we've got Liam, Ranga, Owen, Beast, Smoke start us off. 5 of the real sort of standout members within the SLR community. Darnell as well, of course, Dorsey in there, Bunny, Scopes, Night Ranger, Chet, Gareth, JH, Bezos, Summon Up, Elite, are all current members of SLR. Panther was and is, but not in an F1 standpoint anymore, unfortunately. Matt Silver's already out straight away, James. Look at that, he's getting ready. We've got Power Play Parks as well.
Jocko.
Is that Jocko? There we go. So Jocko is also making his return to SLR, as is Pricey. There we go, XR Pricey. He's 6 on the standings at the moment, but he's come back to show his respects and take part in this race. So it'll be great to see how Pricey gets on. Obviously once a member of SLR. Very fast racer as well. He's been right up there. He was right up there during his time in SLR. So it's great to see Pricey back and to see how he does. So we've got Matt Silver then starting a lap, James, if you want to take us through it.
Alright then, here we go. Matt Silver at his home track in the McLaren. Going around turn 3, opening the DRS to end a very short first sector, braking just before the 50-meter board. I'm not even going to try and pronounce any of the corner names because I think I'll be doing
I love you.
Matt. Yeah, I think I'll be doing Matt a bit of a disservice there. But yeah, it's been a tidy lap so far from Matt. If he can provide any sort of the same entertainment that he did last race, then I think we're in for another treat. But it's been a tidy lap, as I say, so far from Matt. Not got the track map up tonight either, so got no idea about the corner numbers. But now coming round to, once again, the final proper corner on the track. Really,
he's got
huge traffic from Gareth. Div 3 head admin.
Oh no.
And there's a bit of contact between the
Oh,
two. I
he's
don't
backed out.
think Matt's going to be the happiest about that. But yeah.
Right, well,
oh no.
we'll move,
Oh no.
swiftly on because I did jump the gun
Oh
earlier.
dear.
We hadn't hit 7,000 earlier. Sprightly was actually trying to G everyone up to getting it. I just can't read. However, he has now just put in the chat that we have reached £7,000. So there we go. That is fantastic. Bunny's got a 3-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Not quite sure how you get that in a qualifying session.
Back, mate.
But who knows? But yes, Ranga is back with a bang. There we go, up to the top of the timings into P1. So yes, we have now hit £7,000. So thank you so much to everyone that has donated. You know, regardless of the figure, if you've donated, you've played a part, you've contributed. There we go, if I can get my words out, to the cause, and that is fantastic to see. So then, we got 11 drivers currently with lap times, 12 drivers with lap times set, albeit at least a couple of them not exactly representative, especially Matt, as he was held up immensely at the final corner, and check as well on a 119 it is at the moment, and Matt is absolutely sending that into the pit lane. Look at him go on the barriers. Matt's getting ready, obviously he's ready for some more sends as Bezos goes to the top of the times there, 1:06.9, a driver who has really stepped it up a gear in Elite this season as Bezos. Countless podiums towards the back end of the season. I mean, I know we've both been really impressed with him, haven't we, James?
Yeah,
so it's good to see Bezos back at the top again, and first driver into the 1:06 this evening. JH is going for it as well. JH unfortunately dropped out of his Division 1 seat partway through the season. He was also having a nice season with podiums. But he's back as well for this one. It's a 7.4, goes P4. So JH obviously hasn't lost any of that pace that he had earlier on in the year to put himself up into 4th. So that's a really good effort from him so far. Right then, 18 drivers now have set laps, albeit I think still a few not quite representative. I've got a message from someone, and I'll read this one out, and we'll read Joe Darnell's message. We'll leave that after. We've got his brother Matt's message first, as I'm trying to load it and not Sky Sports. Alright, here we go. He says, Callum, even still 1 week on, the feeling is very, very numb. I think I can say for all of us here, it was a real shock, wasn't it, James? I don't think anyone was expecting to see that message when we did, and the news. It was, you know, really upsetting, I think, just to hear about it and to read it. Because, like I say, it was just such a shock. So he said, there we were heading into the finale, the last race, the last week, ready to celebrate the end of the season. You know, now we're celebrating your life and racing for you. And we're hoping to make you smile and proud following your tragic past. This wasn't the plan, mate. I mean, yeah, it really, 24 years. I mean, it's just awful, isn't it? So young, you know, completely out of the blue, not something that any of us were expecting. You know, it's really awful. I'll carry on with Matt's message. The thought of no longer seeing your name pop up on Facebook, Discord, Xbox and Snapchat is hard to accept. The thought was never meeting face to face and incredibly difficult. Knowing you've been taken away far too soon is impossible to word. I don't want to believe any of it. Nobody does. We still hope you will pop up again calling us clowns or telling us it's coming home. Though we never got that chance to meet face to face and only knew each other for about a year, the pain of being told of the news was indescribable. Unfortunately, a moment I will never forget. We are all trying all we can to drown out that memory with the good ones we've had with you. The racing on track, the moaning, the chatter, and most of all the laughs. Last season, to most we were championship rivals. Rivals we were not. We both wanted each other to win. We were always buzzing for each other's success. That's what made last season a lot more special. That's what made you special. We never did a good job with the rival bit. Chloe and your 3 kids will always be part of our group and the SLR family, just like you all. hope with what we are doing for them, we will make you proud. I hope it's raised a smile. We'll look into the sky of night in search for the brightest shine from your star just to see it. Every moment with you I will always cherish. All the memories will never go. All those memories will forever carry on. Rest easy, my champion. Enjoy and watch when you look down on all of us. Brother, I look forward to telling you all about it when I see you again. Lots of love. I mean, truly, you know, incredible words there, I think, from Matt. Yeah, indescribable, really. I think, like we've kind of alluded to, just sort of the shock of it all. I mean, racing Callum as we were on the Thursday night in F2. You know, we were battling, had a bit of an incident, and you know, at that moment in time, you're thinking, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking, oh, I really hope he doesn't send it in, you know, that sort of thing. You kind of like, but when obviously, you know, literally 2 days later, you hear something like that, you know, everything before from racing goes out the window. You know, obviously, heat of the moment stuff, you might be a bit annoyed with someone or whatever, but I think it's important to, you know, not hold anything against anyone. I certainly don't. I don't try to either. I think it's far more important than that. There's bigger things than that, than to hold grudges against people, especially in racing. You know, and I think that's a great thing. You know, the respect throughout the community is brilliant, especially from Callum. Callum always had respect to others, and I think everyone had respect for Callum, or at least I'd like to think that everyone had respect for Callum. I mean, you know, a revered member of the community he certainly was. An admin, a steward for many seasons. You know, always participated in events when he could. You know, was so invested and involved in championship battles in Division 1 that, you know, we had the honour and the privilege of commentating over and watching over. You know, and the pleasure of racing him, the honour of racing him, and, you know, speaking to him, like you say, James, he was always so respectful, always took the time to speak to us after we'd done commentary, or, you know, as Check and Buddy era, I think pissing about a bit, which is always, you know, good to see. That doesn't go amiss at times. I think that's the really important message that I'm trying to get across here, is that at the end of the day, there's bigger things than, you know, holding something against someone, or even just racing in itself. Obviously, that's how we've all come together, is through the racing. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think just taking a step back, looking at the bigger picture, is perhaps something that everyone maybe needs to do at times. I've tried to, I have done so at times, and I think it's helped myself, you know, come back with a better mindset with racing. And, you know, I think Callum's definitely helped people with that, which is great to see. And, you know, you never know when you're going to lose someone, you know, a friend, an idol, you know, partner, whatever. And obviously, you know, what I'm trying to hammer home and get across is, you know, just, you know, cherish every moment you have with friends and family and colleagues and everything, because, you know, you don't know when they're going to be taken from us. So yeah, you know, there's bigger things than grudges and everything. So, you know, always just try and have an open mind and you know, respect people and revere them as well, if you can, if you want to. As we're starting now to get towards the end of the session, 6 minutes to go in qualifying. We've got Bunny currently fastest, but Matt Silver's sorted himself out, or he sorted Gareth out at least, probably gave him a right hook or something, I don't know, as he was going past him. And he's got himself up onto the front row.
Beast on a good lap here.
So yeah, Matt's looking quick. Beast just crossing the line now. Goes into the 1:06. It's just 2,000ths off of Czech. JH is a 10th up as well. Who was on a good lap, James? I don't know if you said it. Beast.
Oh no, yeah, Beast was on a good lap, and yeah, into the 1:06s. JH is a tenth and a half up through the first sector, and yeah, he's got a bit of an engine glitch for me, but I can deal with it. Yeah, he's looked quick actually, hasn't he, JH, considering what we certainly haven't seen him racing for a fair few months, and yeah, he's almost 3 tenths up now through the middle sector. So yeah, he could get himself into the front row, definitely onto the front 2 rows if he can hook up the run to the line here. Obviously in that Haas that McEwen was in this season, and yeah, he puts it into P3, 1 minute 6.8, and then yeah, that's a fantastic lap from JH.
Yeah, great lap.
I think you've got a fair
I think
few more
Brazil's
messages as well, huh?
Yeah, trying to get through them if I can. I don't know if you've been sent any. I've got the one from Joe that I still need to read out. Yeah, I mean, I think Brazil's a brilliant track to do. I know Callum enjoyed this track. Obviously, it's a difficult one because it's a track where at least the last couple of seasons his championship perhaps went out the window. But I mean, he's had some brilliant performances here. I mean, we know last season, was it, or a couple of seasons ago, he raced with us in Division 1 as it was, Elite it was to become, and had a fantastic result. I believe it was points as well.
Yeah, it was.
You know, when we were looking at possibly moving him up, as it happened, obviously he wasn't. But you know, I think on his day he could fight with the best of us. You know. And Brazil was definitely a track where he was right up there, so it's great to see that we're racing here. It's a track that also provides some good close racing as well, which will hopefully be great to see, as we saw last night actually, in last night's race. So yeah, we've had a few messages in the chat. Nikki's just sent me a message Callum's sister's put in, so apologies for missing it, but yeah, it's difficult, I think, to put into words for all of us, obviously. So I can't imagine how hard it must be for you, but yeah, it's, yeah, you know, we're trying our best. We're trying to do a little bit, and I'm truly grateful that you appreciate. If you want to read out some more messages you've got, James, that would be brilliant. I'll read out Joe's when we get the chance.
I'm not sure if I've got any more. I think I only got the one from Dorsey.
All right, well, that is all right. If anyone wants to say anything, feel free to do so.
Yeah, we'll be more than
we'll
happy
try and
to
get to them.
Yeah, we'll be more than happy to read them out if anyone. Probably best on Discord rather than in the stream chat, because it could get lost in the chat. But yeah, like we say, if you want to send us a message, then yeah, we'll definitely try and find some time to read them out.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a couple of minutes left in the quali session, so we'll round out the quali session, and then I'll read out a few more messages before we get into the race.
Speaking of Dorsey,
I
Harry's
know,
2 tenths up here.
Yeah, I'm on board with him. I think Ranga said that they've got something planned for the race. I can't remember. That might just be me misreading something. But if something does happen in the race that looks unexpected, then it's probably Ranga doing something. Dorsey then finds nearly 3 tenths to move just inside the top 10 on a 7.1, so he's pretty close. The whole field then, or at least first and 19th, separated by less than a second and a half. So this is great to see, and hopefully this is going to be setting us up very nicely for some really close racing. It looks as though Pricey was on a lap. I think he's had to back out, unfortunately. He's currently P12. So we'll see how he gets on as we head into the final few moments of the session. I don't know if you maybe want to take us through on board with a lap, James. Liam's just about to start one, so I think that would be a good person to sit on board with for a lap if you can take us through it, please, James.
Yep, I'll just try and get over to him quickly. I'll try and get my track map up as quickly as I can, but he's coming through the centre S's. Gets quite out of shape on the curb, which is quite easy to do. But yeah, now the run down onto the back straight, as it were. DRS open. He's 2.5 tenths down through the first sector. So I'd be a little surprised if he carries on this lap, unless he thinks he's got time to find somewhere else. Yep, turn 6 and 7 now. And then slowing it down for turn 8. He's got a bit of traffic in front of him, but hopefully the Renault will move out of the way and not interrupt Liam's lap. Up to turn 10 at the top of the hill. Pretty tricky corner to get right, especially on the power on exit here. But yeah, it's nicely done from Liam, who is yeah, looked pretty smooth on the throttle throughout this lap. Obviously that little mistake on the curb, and yeah, once again the curbs do bite around here, and yeah, Liam certainly found that out, unfortunately. But a 7 flat is a very good lap time for Liam, who, as we've said quite a few times on the Div 1 streams, how he is, yeah, it's been getting quicker and quicker as this game cycle has gone on. Beast, I've quickly flipped to, is
As have I.
slightly up on his time through the first sector. Had a Red Bull off on the grass, I think, on the exit of turn 9, sorry, I should say. But yeah, Beast, obviously an elite driver. He'd be hoping to be right at the front there. Owen goes into P3 of a 6.8. That's a fantastic time. Div 2 driver is Owen. Pez is a 6.4. The times are coming in thick and fast now. As Beast comes up to the line, it's a 7 flat. He doesn't improve and he stays down in 9th.
Yeah, Joe's on a lap as well, currently 8th, marginally down through the middle sector. Can he improve?
Yes, he can.
By nearly 2 tenths to go P3. So great lap there from Darnell. And to go up into 12th. It's only Jocko left, but I think he's just peeled off into the pits, which he has. So Bezza's then on pole rather convincingly in the end. But I mean, look at that. The top 11 all within half a second of one another, just about. So this is really incredible for the race, and hopefully we'll have a fantastic race for what will be the final race of this. I want to say event, but I don't think that's exactly the right word. You know, tribute. Should we say that's a better word? Tribute to Callum. You know, it's at least hopefully going to go some of the way to sort of honouring his legacy that he's left upon the league. As yeah, I mean, that's a really good lap from Owen. Just to bring that up. Definitely. I mean, obviously, maybe not the best time for a plug, but you know, as we head on to the new game and the new season, it's definitely interesting to see how some of these guys have improved. I'm sure, as Owen mentioned in his message, in fact, Callum will be enjoying Owen's improvement and upturn in pace. Yeah, that's a really strong lap from him, mixing it up there with the big guns.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't want to take away from the focus of the event, but I think. Don't want to speak for Liam, but I mean, I know I'm certainly dreading the conversation that we're going to have about drivers for next season. I think probably going to be a full night for that one. Obviously, Callum would have had some sort of input on that, being a Div 1 admin himself. But yeah, Owen was a fantastic time there, and I'm sure some of Callum's motivation and guidance helping him has yeah helped.
Yeah, most definitely. So that is the end of qualifying. I'm sure it wasn't easy for some of these guys out there racing, you know, with the emotions being high and so on. So perhaps you'd say some of these guys not quite hitting the heights that they normally would, but you know, that's not really the point of this, not the focus of this. Obviously, we want good racing, we want close competitive racing. But at the end of the day, the result really isn't the focus. You know, we're trying our best here to kind of put it into words, but it is so difficult. I mean, you know, probably not the best people to speak on this sort of subject. You know, we're only 18, both of us. Not exactly the most life experience of some of the guys here, and nor the most sort of experience with these sort of tragic events. But you know, if we can go any sort of way to try and honour it, then you know, I think we'll be in good stead. So then, we're on the grid for the start of the race. I'm not sure if we're going to have another minute silence or whether we're getting straight into this one. I'll have to check the old agenda. If we are, I'll start it in a second. Apologies for that. Doesn't seem as though it is in the agenda. I mean, we've already had the one, obviously. Another one certainly wouldn't go amiss. But whether it's going to be done or not, I don't know. And then hopefully we'll get into the race and we'll put on a show for Callum for what is, as I say, the final race in this tribute to SLR, Callum, McEwen. Right then, 40 of you in the stream, so thank you all for tuning in. The numbers have been jumping all over the shop this evening, so yeah, thank you. Whether you've just tuned in, whether you've been here the whole time, whether you're not watching anymore but you're watching it back or something, thank you everyone for coming in and showing your support. At least in this regard, like we've said, obviously donations are very, very much appreciated, but even just showing your presence like this is equally, as welcomed, as well as the guys racing. These guys are showing their respect for Callum in probably the way SLR knows best, which is to put on a good show and a good race. And I'm sure Callum is loving this, and I'm sure this is how he would have wanted it to have been. Really in the unforeseeable circumstances that we found ourselves in. So then, we've got Jocko and Pricey, well, those things disqualified from the formation lap. Two of the former SLR drivers there. I wonder if there's some no love lost between the pair of them or something, I'm not sure. So yeah, they've both been disqualified for whatever reason. So we've got 18 cars then for the formation lap. And then we'll have the parade lap, the lap of honour, and then we'll get the racing going. I think Pricey's actually, is he disconnected by the sounds of things? So might need to get him an invite, James, quickly if you can. Yeah, I appreciate the words, Steve-O, mate. Yeah, I don't think it's been easy for anyone these last few weeks, and so just trying to put it into words isn't the easiest, but we're trying our best here, aren't we? And I'm glad that you appreciate it. So then, looks as though we are about to get underway. I don't know if you've managed to swing Pricey an invite, James. I think that's what he said, unless I can't read again. No, he's back now. All right, we sorted it. Alright then, so I think we're about to get underway for the start, albeit we'll have another one of those formation laps, as it were. Obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, someone who knows, but I think the idea was to try and get most of these guys in the sort of cars that they've either had like the best performances in, or they've been in like in their most sort of iconic seasons in SLR, I want to say. Obviously Beast and Southerner both won their championships in Division 1 against McEwen in the Racing Points, which was in season 5 and 4, I want to say. Yes, yeah. 5 and 4. Racing obviously with Callum. I believe Czech was his teammate. Was he last season, James? I want to say. I think you might know a bit better than I do. Was it Ferrari? Yeah. Obviously Darnell as well. Was in the Alfa Romeo when he was in Division 1 battling with Callum. Jocko has certainly been in the McLaren in SLR before. yeah, Ranga and Gareth were both in the Red Bull. Ranga this season, Gareth in seasons gone by. Owen as well in the Ferrari last season when he came back. So Owen in the Ferraris, you know, talking about how Callum helped him find an upturning pace, and he's back in that car that obviously treated him so well when he came back, and he's put his car fifth on the grid, which is really great to see. Baggy's just said, I just realised it's OMH and Iceman Liam partnership. It most certainly is. Blast from the past there. Owen and Liam's former usernames. Yeah. Iceman Liam. Was it Hampered Lily or something before that?
Yep.
If I remember right.
Getting
I
underway,
remember when we first joined. My first race was watching, I think, Division 1, and Liam was racing it. And yeah, we are underway then. We've got an Alfa Romeo. That's Darnell already down the inside of Matt Silver, and Owen's followed him through. So Joe doing some work there for Owen and getting Matt Silver straight out of the way, hoping that he won't cause them any bother as we progress through this race. As Bezos has lost out to Bunny as well. Bunny got the move down the inside into turn 4. We've got a Haas all off the track there on the exit of 4, and that's JH. And look at this side by side now, Bezos and Darnell. Bezos had a really slow start for whatever reason, and now he's being attacked by Darnell as we head through the middle sector here. Owen's just watching this unfold. Is he going to try it down the inside of Bezos? Yes, he is. Here we go then. Just about avoiding contact there. As this was, of course, the corner where Albon and Hamilton came together. We nearly saw similar events there, but Darnell then up into P2 and Bezos down 2 off of the start. And it's a big train as we head throughout the rest of the field. Summing up back in his championship winning car from season 5, the Racing Point. As Bunny sets the fastest lap and is already about a second clear of Darnell, and Bezos and Darnell are going back at it through the Senna S. And look at that, Bezos back ahead of Darnell and up into P2 again. And look at this, Owen coming through, James. Owen's going for P3 here. Round the outside, it's going to be through turn 4. Can he get it done? Tries to hold it around the outside, but Darnell braking just a tiny bit later and getting the holding the position for now. As Bunny's starting to check out front. 1.2 ahead now of Bezos, who's struggling to keep touch with the Renault driver so far. Don't know if you're alive, James, or still there, but if you've got anything to say, feel free.
So I'm having connection issues. I think.
Okay.
I'm struggling to kind of see what's going on. Not connection, controller connection. Struggling to hear everything that's going on.
Oh, right. Okay, well, don't worry about that, and we'll try and get back in on the action. As we've got this big train really going on for what looks to be P3, although Bezos is, while pulling away from Darnell, is nearly back into the DRS of Bunny. So these guys are kind of all going to come back in to one another's path. Sem is saying Bunny's finally releasing the sandbags and showing his true elite pace. Of course, definitely one of the standout drivers at the top of the Division 1 Championship last season was Bunny. Didn't get the chance to race in Abu Dhabi this season, but he did the season prior. Possibly, I don't know what's going on, and you don't have to say anything, of course, James, but possibly could be one of those that is moving up for next season.
I don't really know what's going
as
on
Bezos has just about got into the DRS then, so I think these top 7 it is, as Pricey's just about dropped Beast. The top 7 are all starting to pull away. As that's a very early pit stop for Czech there.
Yeah, apologies for that as well. Both my controllers were out of charge, so it's kind of difficult to stay connected. But I'm back now. But yeah, as I say, me and Liam haven't had the chat yet. But yeah, Bunny's got some fantastic pace. Czech with a very early pit stop, but I think a bit like Baku as well. The softs wear out pretty quickly. And Sutherland's got a bit of connection issues by the looks of things, but I think he is in about the 7th place, judging by
it says
the
he's
fact
down
that
in
he's
20th. He's in P7, yes. So all of these guys from Beast and down are technically one position higher than what they are. So Beast is 8 and so on.
That's one of these glitches that you hope really gets fixed for the next game, though, isn't it? Because I mean, he's clearly there in 7th place, isn't he? I think his connection might not be the greatest at the moment, but yeah, I mean, he's there in 7th, isn't he?
Hang on, James. Matt's coming. Matt's on a charge. He's looking at Owen. He's all over the rear diffuser of that Ferrari, and easy as you like, round the outside, back onto the racing line for turn 1, and he gets it done.
Yeah, I was going to say, Owen's from him. I was going to say, I don't think Matt will be too happy about the move that Owen put on the first lap, and yeah, I think Owen's just kind of underestimated the closing speeds there, and yeah, unfortunately,
Pricey and Owen are going for it through 4. Pricey's got it done round the outside, so Pricey now up into P4, and Summoner's going for it now on Owen as well. So Owen tagging the back of Matt and spinning him out of turn 3 and turn 2, sorry, and then things going from bad to worse as he lost out to Pricey, who got the move done there down the back straight.
Yeah, Pricey right.
But he's sticking it in there, is Owen, so he's doing a good job at the moment.
Pricey right at the front. It's a bit of a blast from the past, isn't it? I remember our first ever SLR race. We raced around here, didn't we? And Pricey was right up near the front in that. So yeah, it's good to see him back racing within SLR, even if it is only for this
Bunny pits
circumstance. But yeah, Bunny into the pits then. Bezos was closing in on him actually, so yeah, obviously just doesn't want to get undercut and risk losing that. DRS is now Pricey and Owen are going side by side. Bit of a half spin for the Ferrari through the first couple of corners.
Ranger and Gareth as well.
Beast as well. The two cousins going at it. Beast is going to make the move on Owen, and Owen's dropping down to both of the racing points there in just a couple.
Yeah, the Red Bull teammates battling it out. Ranger and Gareth as JH is trying to go through now. A bit of lag there, I think, from Ranger as JH clipped the back of him. And these are all going at it. Matt Silver, after his spin, is in P11. As, there is a spin for Gareth. Flying off at turn 6 was the Red Bull. They were getting a bit feisty. Himself, Ranger and JH just a few moments ago. Unfortunately, he's fallen casualty to it. Bunny is out in P15, but Czech is not too far behind him, pitting very early. I'm not sure the undercuts worked massively for him, but it might have done him a little bit of a help. Might have given him a bit of a helping hand there through the traffic, as Matt was getting all out of shape as he was about to eye up a move, I think, on JH. We've got a few more pitting, Beast and Elite hitting now from inside the top 10. Owen's just lost touch, unfortunately, to Summoner and Pricey, but Bezos and Darnell have both now also been released out front to kind of go amongst themselves. I think Night Ranger there was just passed by Bunny, teammates for this evening, so I'd imagine it was a relatively easy move. Night Ranger, to his credit, tends to know where his fight is and doesn't hold up those that have pitted or on a different strategy to him, so I'd assume that's what's gone on there as well. Night Ranger obviously mainly a community member in SLR, but he's dabbled in the F1 and the racing now. He's been racing quite a bit in F2, to be fair to him, and obviously he's dipping his toe into F1 a little bit now as well, which is good to see from Night Ranger. We've got Elite then on the back of Dorsey, just came out behind him as they pitted. Speaking of pitting, we've got Bezos, Darnell, Owen and JH then all into the pits as well. Are you back, James?
Yes, I am. I don't really know what it is. But yeah, I am back. I've been looking at that battle over P10 and 11 around that area with Czech, Beast and Owen, and it's going to get pretty feisty here. Owen's coming out of the pits, and here's Night Ranger as well. Czech's onto the grass trying to get past him, and Owen barges his way through up the inside, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on because half of them are ghosting and half of them aren't. Beast is now going at his cousin again. He wants the second bite of the cherry. But yeah, Owen.
It's a family affair out front, isn't it?
Certainly is. Yeah, Owen to then 8th, Beast 9th and Chick 10th. But I think they're battling over the podium even potentially with Southerner actually just ahead.
Yes, I need to remember to read Joe's message out, so I'll do that at the end before I forget, because I'd feel awful if I didn't. Back to the racing, Bezzers and Bunny still going right at it out front. So Bezzers obviously went for the overcut, but has found himself closer to Bunny. So perhaps they pitted slightly too early, I don't know. Beast going down the inside, having a look at Owen into turn 1. He's going to get the switch back through 2, but picks up a time penalty for his troubles as Pricey just coming out of the pits up ahead.
He's even out them all.
Quite way ahead of these guys. Actually, Beast hasn't got the run though on Owen down into turn 4. So Owen is driving very well and is gaining another place as Bunny's off.
Yeah, didn't quite see what happened, just caught the end of it, and yeah, the Renault was sideways on the exit of turn 4, so I think there might have been a little bit of contact with Bezzers or Scopes, one of those two. But
so Bezzers will have the net race lead from Darnell, and these two are right up with one another now as they're onto the back of Scopes. Scopes do his teammate a favour here and let him through, but it doesn't look like he's making it terribly easy for him. Although Bezzers is going to get past now as we go down the straight, and Scopes then, is he going to be able to hold Darnell up? Doesn't look like it. And is Darnell in fact going to attack Bezzers into turn 1? Has a little look, but he knows he was just too far back to go for any sort of substantial move there, as Scopes is actually quite close to Darnell. I wonder if he was going to have a go into 4, sorry. No, Darnell had another look at Bezzers, and to be honest, James, it could be time to start using some of that battery for Bezzers.
Yeah, it could, if he can try and... He has used quite a bit of it actually, but yeah, if he can pull away, get out of the DRS, I think he might have this one in the bag. Obviously there's a while yet to go, but he's got so much more battery, and battery is key around here. So yeah, if he can just find a few attempts and get that gap extended, then I think Bezzers could be in the money here.
Yeah, Bunny's found himself then after that spin in a Haas sandwich, checking front, JH behind. I'm sure that's probably not one of the places you'd want to be for too long, with a fast driver in front and a fast one behind. But I think he's going to find it a little bit difficult to get out of this one, is Bunny. There's Check already going on the defensive down into turn 1. Scopes is now pitting. Bunny's just weaving. I think he has his Check actually. I think they're obviously in communication with one another, and they're not bothering fighting one another right now, as Darnell is bothered about fighting someone, and he's bothered about fighting Bezzers. He's going to look to the outside for turn 4. Bezzers covers it off. Darnell trying to go on the switch back through 5. Is he going to get the run into 6? They're going to be side by side. Darnell's going to try it. Is he round the outside? He sends it to the outside. Bezzers breaking late to try and cover it off, and he does just about squeeze Darnell out wide through 7, and Darnell's getting twitchy on the traction. Look at that big slide out of 7 and 8 as he's losing the car all over the shop. Through 9 they go. Darnell keep in touch with Bezzers despite these slides, and he's going to get DRS once again as they head through the final braking zone. Not the final corner though. This is the final. No, this isn't even the final corner. This is the final corner as they go through it. Is Darnell going to be close enough to go for a move this time? Bezzers right off the track there trying to defend and break the toe. But no, Darnell not close enough. Big front left lockup from the Williams. Is the Alfa Romeo of Darnell going to get the run down into turn 4? He's using everything, every last bit of his battery to try and get the move done. And no, he can't. So Bezzers holds on, holding on for dear life it would appear. And he does hold on to the position for now. Owen is having a fantastic race and is now 4/10 off the back of Pricey for a podium, James.
Yeah, I think once again that's just the glitch. They're actually battling over P4, but yeah, Southern right on the back of this lead group as well, and then Pricey just a little bit back. But yeah, either way, Owen up in P5, fantastic race. He's actually ahead of Beast, who's an elite driver. So yeah, fair play to Owen. He's obviously got some serious pace around here.
Yeah, most definitely. Czech is still leading Bunny, and JH is still behind, so Bunny hasn't been able to get himself out of the hash sandwich just yet. The longer he's in this, I'm sure the more he's ruining that spin, however it happened, as Ranger and Matt Silver as well have also joined in on the fun.
Donald on the inside
in
for the lead,
11th
sorry
and
Harry.
12th. As I'll get back to that. Bez is going to come back at him though and use some of that battery up. As Liam passes Jocko there for P13. Now the real question is Liam going to end up in 11th? Because he always likes to get in 11th place, doesn't he, Liam? Czech's got a time penalty as well, just pick one up. Beast, the only driver in the top 7 to have a penalty. That's going to drop him down behind Dorsey come the end of the race. In fact, the top driver, only driver in the top 8 as Summoners is, of course, in P3. Because in fact, pretty much all the field outside of these top 8 have time penalties. Darnell gets wide out of 9 all over the grass. Is this going to allow Bezzers the opportunity to take the lead back straight away here? As we start lap 15 in a few moments. Having said that, look how close Summoner is to the back of that Williams as they head down into turn 1, starting the 15th lap now. Is Summoner going to go for the move on Bezzers, or is Bezzers going to go for the move on Darnell? Darnell has the lead. Bezzers moved to the inside to try and not only, I think, cover off from Summoner, but also have a little look at Darnell in case Darnell was willing to give him the room. Here we go through into 4, goes Bezzers round the outside. He's got none of that battery left that he had a moment ago. Darnell covers him off though, holds firm on the racing line. Bezzers can't get through just yet. Beast as well, I don't know if he's glitched or what, is now back up somehow ahead of Pricey into 4th. So these two battling out for P4. I don't know how he's managed to get himself past not only Owen but also Pricey at the same time. And they're going back at it again. Beast is down the inside and he's ghosting, and I think that's the glitch where you ghost, because he's ghosted and Pricey's made contact with him. And Owen's nearly lost it on the curbs as well. And Elite out of nowhere, Elite on the alternate strategy, James, is right on the back of this. Darnell pits, Owen pits. So here might be the rumoured sort of show of respect that Ranger said was going on. I'm not sure though, as Ranger himself hasn't actually pitted just yet. So we start lap 16 then. So Bezzers now has a comfortable 4-second gap to Elite, who's come all the way from outside of the top 10. If we look at the position change, all the way from P14 on the alternate strategy to come up into 2nd, and now leads an AlphaTauri 2-3 with Pricey just behind, despite having that run-in with Beast a few moments ago. There's some sort of train starting to form behind Ranger by the looks of things. So we'll check in with this. And in fact, I'll read Joe's message out whilst we're watching this. So we started off with Quiche, which is the nickname, the affectionate nickname that a few of the members call Callum. There's look, more drivers forming and joining this train. He said, "I'm not too great with these kind of things, and if I'm honest, any amount of words simply cannot describe the magnitude of this loss. SLR McEwen, or to some of his closest friends, Quiche / Callum, was truly one of the nicest blokes I've ever come across. I've known Callum for 15 months and it feels like I've known him for 15 years. The bond he had with myself and others in this community was irreplaceable. From the outside he came across as tough, no nonsense type of person, but inside he was a kind-hearted, caring man. I will always remember and cherish these moments we spent on track together, being a teammate in F2 back when we shared the same division in F1. I just remember him messaging me every week talking about the race ahead and our pace comparisons. Soon after, it led to chatting on a daily basis, and for well over a year now, I've grown so used to speaking to Callum every day. I'm going to miss the F1 chats we had during races, ripping into each other regarding Max versus Lewis. I'm going to miss these random FaceTimes you did on the odd occasions, especially while you're working away. I'm going to miss winding you up by calling you Mr. Sandbag, as you were the biggest sandbagger in SLR. To have that all taken away from me in an instant is painful to accept. My deepest condolences go out to Chloe, the 3 kids, and the rest of the family. We will always be here for you. Callum was family to us, which means you're also part of this family. Rest in paradise, Callum. Love your brother. And look at this, a truly brilliant moment here, as we've got a formation going on here with the majority of the field. I think unfortunately a few of these guys perhaps didn't quite get the memo, but for the majority of the field we've got this formation now starting to occur. As they're all gonna cross the line together and go round, and go round for one more go. I think the 2 Alpha Tauris, as Owen's being absolutely punted, the 2 Alpha Tauris are going to finish this race 1 and 2. However, the result truly isn't the important thing here. Let's look at this, brilliant scenes with all these cars going round in formation, side by side with one another. Solidarity, support, respect from all for one of our truly beloved members here. And what a way it is to round this out and end off what has been a brilliant 2 days of not only racing, but, you know, storytelling, respect's being paid, you know, tributes being shown. You know, we've raised so much money. Thank you to everyone who's donated. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in for the streams. Thank you to everyone who's raced. I mean, hats off to those all who've organised this all. The yellows, the admins, whoever. As we head them up the hill for one last time. As one, they will cross the line in what is indescribable scene here. We're going to have 1 minute 15, I think, for the end of the session, as unfortunately someone's car's glitched. But yeah, really powerful scenes here from the vast majority of the field. I'll keep it relatively short as we start to wrap up the stream. But again, just to reiterate, I want to thank everyone for their support. Whether it's been through words, whether it's been through their presence in the streams, whether it's been through their displays on track in the racing, or whether it's been you know, financially in whatever way, in donating to help try at least to support Callum's family as they endure these really tough times. Yeah, it's been difficult, this one. I think the drivers as well and members of the league have found it difficult this last week. Really unexpected events. Yeah, awful to hear the news. It was, I mean, it was really upsetting to hear the news. I'll round it off then with my words for Callum. I've not written anything down, so I'm just coming off a whim, really. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to share my condolences first and foremost to Callum's family, and then just to say, you know, what an honour it was to have raced with Callum, to have commentated over his racing. You know, a true gentleman on and off track, always respectful, provided us in the booth with some brilliant racing over the years, and on track as well. Racing Callum, it was always fair but firm, shall we say? You know, a really loved, respected, revered member of the community that I think everyone should aspire to, at least in some way, be like, in at least, you know, some aspects of their life. And yeah, I mean, I hope we've done you proud here, Callum, to be honest. I hope you've enjoyed the racing and the action, and then most importantly perhaps this scene of solidarity and respect at the end as we saw the cars cross the line in formation. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, and I mean, I think we know that you're in a better place now, and that, you know, you're looking down and you're enjoying what you're seeing, and, you know, loving the racing and everything that we've done for you. And I hope that you're proud of us, because I know that we're all proud of you and what you've achieved. And yeah, I mean, rest in peace, Callum. You'll be missed by all of us, but more importantly, you'll be remembered by all of us, as we go on.